Hey everybody, this is GoPro Kyo, and welcome to the Chillcast. This is just a little podcast I'm gonna do here and there, just for the fun of it. I'm basically gonna be talking with some of my friends. We're gonna just sit back for about an hour, talk about whatever, and just for this episode, I want to kind of get to know Jaian a little bit better. I've known Jaian for better half of 3-4 years maybe.
I think we're going on 6 years, Kyo.
6? Really?
We're going on 5 years. We're going on 5 years, actually, and my math was off.
Yeah, I don't... When did we start
it was
hanging,
January 1st, 2015. So we're going on 5.
Yeah, okay, so we are going on 5.
Yeah, I remember because I was in the middle of my college program.
Right.
In that first semester, and then the whole voting competition thing, and then we bumped into each other across the Facebook world. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So, I feel like I know a little bit about you, but I also feel like I don't know enough, considering how much we've worked together on stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
So, I do, last night, just yesterday, this is an undocumented thing that we did. We, tried to play Stick Arena yesterday. My computer can't handle it for some reason. It's crappy. But,
oh, man.
Yeah. But, yeah, we just hung out and we talked for a little while yesterday. I felt like I got to know a little bit more about, some of the stuff that you liked to watch back yesterday.
Yeah.
But I did have a couple more cartoons I wanted to ask you about. So, this is just, paraphrasing what we said what you said yesterday. You said, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
What else was there? Total Drama, 16, just some of the Teletoon stuff. I did have 3 more. These are French cartoons. I don't know if you saw these necessarily. They may or may not have aired in your province or whatever. But let's see. Do you recall a show called Totally Spies?
Oh my god, yes. I actually
okay,
watched that.
Cool.
I watched Totally Spies. Yeah,
Did they play that on Teletoon?
Yeah, we had a French version and an English version. I watched the English dub.
Oh, okay.
With Jerry, right? The old guy was called Jerry. Oh my god, I can't believe I remember that. And they had that one episode where they collabed with Martin Mystery. I remember that.
I was actually going to ask about that. That was the next question I was going to ask, if you knew about that cartoon.
Yeah, I know about Martin Mystery.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my god, actually, funny story is...
It kind of explains your anime podcast nowadays, because those shows are so very anime.
They are very much animated, and they have that kawaii friggin'...
They do, yeah.
Yeah, that oh my god! Yeah, that thing. But what I was gonna say is, about a few months back, a friend of mine came over to the apartment, and what we decided to do for one whole afternoon is just watch the first episode of every cartoon we could recall.
Oh,
so we watched the first episode of Ninja Turtles, Totally Spies.
Which Ninja Turtles did you watch?
Oh man, it's the episode where one of them gets caught in a truck and there's a bunch of money, and then they kick the gang's butt. It was animated. It wasn't any live action thing. I think it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, very much the Teletoon cartoon one. Yeah.
Was it 3D or was it in or was it like the 80s cartoon?
No, it was more. I think it was more like the 80s cartoon.
Okay. Did they have eyeballs on the behind the mask, or were their eyes just white?
Eyes was white.
Okay, so there weren't any pupils.
Not that I can recall.
Okay, so that was the 2003 4Kids version.
So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah, they're all called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's just different versions of it.
How many versions are there?
Oh my god, dude! There's I'm gonna guess that there's 13 versions of them from the past 20 to 30 years that they've been around.
they have been
they have been
big
remade
force.
A lot.
Yeah, that's actually a take, yeah.
But Austin actually bought bought a box set from the original 80s cartoon, and the box is actually shaped like the old turtle van.
Oh
and
my god, that's amazing.
you take the top half off, and the discs are all lined up in a row underneath the inside the van, and it is so cool.
Oh wow, that's great.
It is the geekiest thing that we've found, and we love it.
I mean, I really feel like I had that geeky side pretty much my entire life, but when I met you guys, it came out way more. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, I am a geek, and I am a proud geek, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people think. Like, not that it mattered before, but I really just, I chalked it up to a new level when I started talking to you guys and everything.
Yeah. I didn't realize it, or like I just thought that like you were always like that, honestly. It didn't seem like you were any different from like how before we met.
Right, fair enough. I don't know, I just feel like
you're just more comfortable with it, I guess, is a better way to say it. Yeah.
When you meet a group of people that have similar interests and when you start talking about it, especially through a podcast, you definitely grow more comfortable with the subject, because you're not going to start a podcast about a subject that you are not comfortable with. And I mean, you can, but I just don't know if it's the best approach.
Probably not.
You can do whatever you want. I mean,
yeah. Huh. Well, aside from Ninja Turtles, like that was one of the first things we talked about. I remember I remember like we got on a video call for the first time, and I immediately saw. I can't remember if you were wearing the shirt or if you just had the poster. Okay, yeah, it was the poster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was. Oh wait, that's right. I was wearing the shirt, and I just so happened to look behind you, and I was like, "Oh, Ninja Turtles, nice."
Oh, such a. Oh man, that room. I miss that room. I miss my. I mean, it's nostalgia, because I met you guys before I moved out, and now I've moved out for a little over 2 years now. So you guys kind of knew me right at the tail end of me living in my old town.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nostalgia.
Where was it? Ottawa. Ottawa is where you're from?
Well, across the river from Ottawa, the French side.
So you're like just barely next to Ottawa.
I'm right. I can walk to Ottawa in like 40 minutes.
Okay. I wouldn't know. I don't know why you would walk to Ottawa for 40 minutes.
I mean, I am just I walk a lot.
Yeah.
To get to the subway station when I go to school, it's a 20 minute walk, 20-minute walk back.
Totally. Is it a really metro area? Like, is there a lot? Like, is it a really
where I live
urban
now in
area?
Montreal? Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. There's a subway system. It's a gorgeous town. You do not need a driver's license to live in Montreal, basically.
So it's like it's like your version of New York. Like nobody owns a car.
No, I wouldn't go that far. It's definitely not as metropolitan as New York.
Oh, yeah.
It is a metropolitan. Montreal is a metropolitan, but it's not as intense as New York. I mean, I've never been to New York, but you don't have the whole cab thing. Maybe downtown a bit more, but it's not crazy. Hey, who needs a cab? Who needs? People just Uber.
Yeah, New York traffic is horrible. I've never been to New York, and I don't plan to go there if I don't have any reason. As long as I have no reason to.
I mean,
I'm not a huge urban person. I like the solitude of like being in the woods for the most part. Like, because I grew up in a small, like, it was kind of like a little suburbia area, but like it wasn't very developed, I guess is a good word for it, because there was a lot of forest area behind us. It was like a small community up on the side of a mountain. We were outside the city limits, so we had to pay for our own septic system, and we got a very different water plumbing, plumbing for like water, so we didn't have like the city limit tap water.
Nice. I had a bit of that rural experience when I was living in France for a little while when I was really, really, really young. And I don't know if I talked a lot about this, but I am a Boy Scout. Have been for most of my life, and definitely the outdoors.
Yeah, I've seen your profiles picture on Facebook change here and there to like the
exactly, but
outdoor
like
background, and I always assume you're just like going camping, but then I heard like, oh, he's part of the Scouts. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. I'm part of the Scout Regiment. I'll take out every Titan Kyo, every last one. No.
I knew anime was going to come around in this podcast somehow. I just wasn't ready for when it did.
Sorry about that. No, but
No, I don't
it's
care.
that thing.
Fine.
No, I know. It's that thing where, at a very young age, my parents put me in Boy Scouts, and they're like, maybe if you like this, you'll stick to it. And I fell in love with it, and it's really like it's part of my. It's woven into me. It's part of my life. Like I am going to die a Boy Scout is the way I see it. Honestly, I love being a part of that whole community. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
I did grow up like doing camping a lot. Like every summer up until I turned around, I want to say like maybe 15. Every summer up until that point was always like a camping trip. My dad used to like buy and fix up trailers, like towable trailers that you could live in.
Right on.
And like it's changed over the years. My dad used to do he's a mechanic, so he started out doing mechanic work, and then he moved on to injection molding, which is like building like phone case covers and just general commission stuff. But he used to do cars, then he moved on to trailers, and right now like in 2019 he's really into boats. So he's always been kind of a building person, and somehow that's always integrated into my childhood. Like, for example, we were always going camping, going on little boat trips. There was always something kind of outdoors related, because I was always such a kind of a shut-in. I was always like, I always wanted to be home. I didn't like going places a whole lot when I was a kid.
I feel like definitely I had that, but I don't know, when I
you seem you seem like you were always an extroverted person to me, you know.
Oh
like
yeah, I've always been an extrovert.
Yeah, because like your friends have said the same thing, like on the Indecisive People Talks back when that was still a thing. Like, who was that gal that you had on there? I think it was Julia.
No, her name is Sylvia.
Sylvia. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
I actually.
Or like she was describing how like you guys knew each other in like middle school, and I'm like, he sounds about the same. He hasn't changed a whole lot.
No, honestly, I have a friend that we last time we saw each other was like grade 11, which was when I was 16, and then I moved to Montreal and found out that he was also residing in Montreal. Oh. So we connected back. We've been like hanging out ever since, and he's like, yeah, you haven't changed. Just grew up. Like, you have the same amount of energy. You're the same extroverted, crazy, lovable person that you are. And I mean, that's who I am, and I assume myself to be who I am, and I'm comfortable with my personality for sure.
Yeah. Here's another cartoon. This one I know is kind of a long shot. Have you ever heard of a cartoon called Code Lyoko?
Oh my god. Okay, this is a funny one. I know Code Lyoko.
Yeah.
The only reason why I know Code Lyoko is because I applied for a bridging Code Lyoko project, got a part for it, and the project never went off. I sent in my line.
I've seen those. I've seen that happen 100 times.
I think I was the teacher.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a teacher or a gym teacher or something. I got cast as the gym teacher. I did the voice acting session. The director, if you want to call them that, said it was good. And then perfect, and then never heard from them ever again.
Watch it
ever again.
Watch it come out
Which
this
is
year.
a lot of...
Watch it come out this year, but with
not...
the same audio quality from back when you first recorded.
No. I mean, I still have the same mic I'm using right now, but obviously I've learned a lot more since then. Yeah. I think it was right before I met you guys.
Oh, that one? Or the Code Lyoko audition?
Code Lyoko.
Really?
Code Lyoko audition. Huh. Yeah.
Or you were, or that's because you were doing the that voice acting contest at the time, if I recall.
Yeah, I was about to start it. Okay. I got more and more into voiceover, and then I just went for it. Yeah.
It seems like you kind of grown out of it a little bit. Like it was just something that you wanted to explore a little bit, honestly.
I would. I mean, it's more of a hobby more than anything else.
Yeah.
I
it's
always
not
look
as big.
for opportunities.
I would say it's not as big a passion as like say the anime covers or just like the music you've been working on.
No, definitely. But voiceover is definitely something I'm very interested in, and I've done a few commissions here and there. I really voiceover, and I enjoy expressing myself. A part of me was considering doing a minor theater, but then I graduated. I was like, You could do a minor and not graduate from your bachelor's degree, or you could not do the minor, graduate from your bachelor's degree, and go into like graduate school. So I ended up doing the second option. But voiceover. It's not something I do as much as music. I think it's a thing where actually, how can I say this? Like, yes, it's a hobby, but it's also like a passion in the sense that music is like my heart, my focus on everything. And then when you compare anything else that I do to music, you're like, oh, he's not as into it because of like look at how much he's into music. I think it's more one of those things. Because I love voiceover. I love like podcasting. It's a beautiful thing.
Speaking of music, that's actually the next footnote I have here.
All
so,
right.
like, what are some artists that you listen to? Like, what's an artist that like you grew up with? If I might start there, I suppose.
An artist I grew up with for sure is Papa Roach. It's a rock band that I really, really, really enjoy.
Austin was a big fan of that in high school.
Yeah, I saw them in concert about 2 weeks ago.
Oh really? Oh
yeah.
right. I think you posted about that.
Yeah,
not long ago.
it was such an experience.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it really. I've
personally been to one concert and have never gone to another one.
It's rough, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, like.
But here's the thing.
I went to a stadium when I went to a concert, and it hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, ours was also in a stadium. The thing is, I don't know, like Canadians in concerts. I was on the floor. We're very nice people in the sense that I went with my friend, and my friend's telling me, we gotta mosh, we gotta go in there. I'm like, listen, man, I'm 25. I'm not like 18 anymore. I have school tomorrow. I don't want to hurt myself. Like, no, like I could if I really wanted to, I could. But no. And then like the first band comes around. No, we're not. The second band comes around. No. Papa Roach comes on. I'm like, no, we're not. Last song of Papa Roach, I literally just grab my friend by the arm and I run and we go into the circle pit. 3 seconds into the circle pit, I slip because everyone's drinking beer and like it's slipping everywhere. So I slip. I fall on my knee and my lip. I just like boom right away. Half a second later, I'm on my feet because someone picked me up, man. Like, people are very caring when it comes to that. So, and then, so it was a really fun time. I really enjoyed seeing Papa Roach in concert. Definitely an artist I grew up with. I think one thing I resonated the most with them was the fact that they had the way they talked about the way they made their music and the way they performed the music and the way their music was made. Like, you could just feel the passion. And I really related to that, where music is something I have so much passion for. So that's definitely something that made me enjoy Papa Roach more.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I've only heard a couple of songs from Papa Roach, quite frankly.
Out,
I mean,
man.
like, I do like their music, though. I have to say, I love the. You know what? I think I'm gonna ask I think I kind of already know because I've helped with lunatic rappers on a track before, but
yeah,
I'm gonna guess that the genres that you're most into are hip-hop and rap, or I'm just making a guess here.
I mean, I am into those genres, but I don't know if I'm most into them.
Okay.
It's one of those things where because I make rap music and because I rap and produce rap music, people think, oh, he listens to rap, a lot of rap. I make a conscious effort to listen to as little rap as possible because I don't want the music I listen to influence the way I'm gonna make my music.
Really?
It sounds counterintuitive to some.
That's so strange to me because like whenever I work on a writing project or a drawing project, I look at something that's related to what I'm interested in, and I feel like that influences my interest in it,
Yeah, no, I understand that. The thing is, I just feel like a lot of rap music sounds the same to me, and I haven't had that. I
totally agree with you. There's a lot,
I haven't had that comment on lunatic rappers yet. People always say, "Oh, this sounds different. This is really good. This is, it's always been that thing, and I'm always trying to find a way to not make it the same as what we listen to. So if I don't listen to any rap music, I'm not thinking of that Travis Scott song. I'm not thinking of that Drake song. I'm not thinking of that so and so rapper song. I'm just making my music the way I want to make it, and I understand that it could be perceived as close-minded to some people because you should open yourself. I do listen to some hip hop, but I don't want to let that influence the way I make my hip hop because I want my hip hop to be like lunatic rappers, not lunatic rappers influenced by this really popular rapper that everyone's influenced by. Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, like it's just that's just such an alien concept to me because like some of the projects that I'm working on require me to delve into a certain genre. Like a personal project of mine, I've posted pictures about it here and there. It's a cartoon called Badlands, and it's based around that post-apocalyptic kind of post-punk sort of desert world, like Mad Max, Borderlands, just kind of based around those things. And like whenever I want to work on those, I'll play like Borderlands, or I'll watch clips from Mad Max, or just kind of divulge myself into that style. Into that style and that universe, and I'll get some of my ideas from it, but I'll try to make the most effort to not copy it, but like kind of take the best elements from it and apply it to my own work. But like the way you're describing it is like you have not quite, like you have a frame of reference of what you want to do. Like you listen to enough rap to know like structure and like how to do that kind of music, but not so much that you jump into that genre and then come out like saying like Eminem lyrics or Drake or just like so much that you're not repeating the same stuff that they do, you know?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I just feel like because the thing is also, I'm not the only one making this music specifically with lunatic rappers. I mean,
obviously. Like, there's probably plenty other people doing the same thing.
Yeah, no. I'm literally saying like lunatic rappers is more than just me, is what I'm trying to say. It's me
of course.
And two other people, and those two others are a humongous reason. Like if they decide to stop doing the project would never ever be the same. And I'm not saying that lightly. We have ACR, which is the guy I started the project with. Actually, we met in Boy Scouts to come full circle. And
that's cool.
And I remember when I started my first rap project ever. It was called Rebirth. It was this mixtape I made.
Oh my god, I remember.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one that had the album cover where your face is stitched up? Or is that a different?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. There was one of that, and there was a Christmas one too, which that was another thing. But
I loved the Christmas one. That was one of my favorite ones.
I know, it was pretty hilarious, but at the same time,
like it's not. I didn't like it ironically. I actually unironically enjoyed the Santa Claus is Coming to Town track. Quite frankly,
god, it was
like I thought it would like it made me laugh, but I was actually enjoying it. To be honest, I know you're not. I know you're not like fit or vocally tuned necessarily, but you still put 100% into it. And like all the passion comes through, in my opinion.
No,
I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset that I can't find it anymore because like I can't remember how long ago. But a couple of Christmases ago, I remember every season I like to put together a music playlist that I listen to, and like obviously there's like the wintertime and there's Christmas, and like I thought, oh wait, Jaian has a Christmas album. I go to check your YouTube, and I'm like, where'd it go? And I messaged you immediately. I'm like, where'd it go?
I removed it.
I was mad. I was a little mad.
I'm sorry, but
I totally get why. I have videos on my channel that people may have liked, but I've gotten rid of, but I'm still a little upset.
I think, like, there's a part of me that kind of wants to go back and listen to it. It's on my old computer, which it still has the information on it, but it just...
Oh, well, dude, I don't have anything from before 2015. Like, all the stuff on my computer.
No, I know, because you guys had this thing with your hard drive always crashing. We're working on projects, and I'm like, all right, cool, so how's it... Hard drive crashed. Okay, but hard drive also crashed. What about your backup drive? Crashed. All right, it's just like you have this uncanny ability.
I've learned my lesson since then.
Dude, like just Google Drive, $2 a month, you get 100 gigs, it doesn't crash. Ever. Do yourself the favor.
Yeah, I've been using Google Drive with like stuff that I absolutely cannot lose.
It's essential.
Yeah, Jesus. I also have like a secondary place that I put some older stuff, like from when I was in high school. I just leave them on there. My dad's old computer. He's had it since before I started high school, and it's still running. So I just left it on there because he takes such good care of his computer, and I may be tech savvy, but I'm not very good at keeping my hard drive clean, if that's a good way to describe it.
No, yeah. I mean, I literally just bought two entirely new hard drives the other day. Just because I'm backing up my stuff, and I'm backing up my backup, and I'm also putting it on Google Drive.
Yeah.
Like and before I was so like, oh, I don't care about any of this stuff.
Yeah, and then like what happens to us, and then you're just like, oh shit, I gotta back up everything.
Essentially, it's so important.
Oh yeah. I feel like we dropped music a little bit there.
It's all good. This is what happens. What was I was talking about lunatic rappers.
Yeah, just like how you're disconnected from the genre enough to where you're not imitating like the really popular artists, and I think that's really admirable in my eyes, honestly.
Thank you. I mean, like the last EP we did, The Return, specifically the song called The Return. We really wanted to do. When I heard that beat, I already had the album like figured out in my head. I'm like, okay, this could be like the thing. This could be the mob boss, the Al Capone, the sketch in the middle, and everything, and the lyrics referring to like, better pay your debts or you're gonna like, it's not gonna end well. And that track is one of my favorites. And I specifically remember being like, my voice is way too like dynamic and like and in there to be a part of this track. So right away I was like, okay, ACR and Undergod, you guys are taking a verse each, and in the middle we're gonna figure something out. And at first I was gonna do the sketch, but then I was like, no, we need someone who can voice act even better than me, and that's why I reached out to you. Which that sketch, every time I play it, like someone's like, oh my god, that's a movie, right? I'm like, no, that's my bud, that's my Keo.
The two voices that I did are like just barely different. It's just like a different pitch on each one. It's like it's honestly not
works.
Even it's not it worked. It's not even personally my favorite performance that I've done, but I'm still happy with it. I did put it on my SoundCloud, so I put that portion of it on my SoundCloud, like I think it was my 2019 reel.
Yeah.
So like I am happy with how it came out. I'm glad that it came out as well as it did. Obviously, a lot of it had to do with your audio editing, because you know how to make things sound as crisper than I've ever heard, honestly.
Thank you. I mean, I studied very hard and practiced very much.
It really shows.
Yeah.
It really shows, dude.
Thank you.
It really does.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, Lunatic Rappers is another like passion project I have that I absolutely love doing, and we're working on the next EP already. It was crazy because I was in the middle of producing The Return, and because we all live in different cities, whenever I would go visit family, like one of the guys is over there, so whenever I went to visit families, I'd bring all my equipment. I'd be like, bro, book 2 hours off that weekend, I don't care when or what time, and we're recording. And like after 5-6 trips down, like we had everything all put together. Yeah.
Man, it sounds like so much work.
It's a lot of work, but it's not a lot of work in the sense that I love to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? Like, honestly, the more trouble you have putting it together, the better it's gonna be.
In a sense, yeah. Because if you have too much trouble, you're just gonna rush through it, I feel like.
Yeah, like if it's too easy, you're gonna go through it really quickly. But like if you have a little bit of difficulty and something like keeps you from getting to a certain point, you're gonna like troubleshoot it as best you can without like what's the word for it? Without not caring about it enough, you know?
Right. I see what you mean.
All right, I still got some like music questions I'm gonna ask. Like, what kind of music did you grow up listening to? Like, say, like in the car. Did your parents play like the radio a whole lot? Because like my dad did a lot of that. Like the music that I listen to today is probably older than I am.
So
like every or like almost every artist that I listen to is probably either dead or close to dying.
I mean, my dad was very much into the Beatles and made me listen to a lot of the Beatles.
Oh,
So
nice.
I grew up with the Beatles for sure.
So like 60s, bordering on 70s kind of
I'm
music.
saying like the Beatles was what I would
Yeah.
like any other band in that. I'm sure they're great artists, but the Beatles. And then when I was in grade 6, my friend, I can't believe I'm remembering this. She had a Walkman. She had a Walkman, Kyo. and she made me listen.
My day was the CD player.
Yeah.
Like just the portable CD player. So it's not that far off.
Yeah. And the Walkman, she made me listen to Green Day's American Idiot album. And
they had it on Walkman?
And I listened. Yeah. It was 2006, and I loved it. And I fell in love with pop punk. I started listening to Blink, American Rejects, Sum 41, just all of those bands, Simple Plan, like all those bands I started listening to religiously. And then from there, my enjoyment really like dispersed, where I got more into heavier stuff like Rise Against and Papa Roach. And even heavier than that, I got into Escape the Fate and Avenged Sevenfold. Like all those heavier like post hardcore bands. I definitely listened to like Bless the Fall and Asking Alexandria. I got into a lot of the more metal bands. And I really like all the way until like when I was 22, I listened to a lot of that music. And here and there, I kind of stayed, but definitely more in the alternative, rock, just heavy grungy stuff.
Yeah. I'm honestly like I've been rediscovering some of that music. I've been discovering like songs by Avril Lavigne that I didn't know about. Like even though that was kind of like her music was kind of the time period that I grew up in, but like I didn't listen to a lot of music until I was in 7th grade.
Oh, the good old days.
I didn't voluntarily seek out music until like YouTube became a thing. So it was like maybe 2006 or something like that I started like looking for like songs online and such. So like it was much more accessible at the time.
YouTube, when I first found out about YouTube, I knew I was going to go there. It was just a question of
I knew that I was going to spend a lot of time on there. Like I remember the year that it came out. Like somebody told me about this site called YouTube, and I distinctly remember going on there and looking at Star Wars videos. I was such a nerdy child.
AMVs, buddy.
Oh my god.
Linkin Park AMVs.
Oh my god, so many. I don't know if you've seen this cartoon. Do you know Danny Phantom?
Of course.
Okay.
I grew up on that one too, yeah.
I actually found somebody found or made a mashup of the Danny Phantom theme song with the song I don't remember if it's it's the song Numb by Linkin Park.
Oh,
and they mashed the two songs together. I'll have to send it to you later. It's actually surprisingly really well put together, but like it just kind of takes me back to that point in time, you know.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Mashups are a style of music that I saw, and I told myself I could maybe try getting into that. It's a lot of just tempo mapping and stuff like that.
It's rough.
I'm sure I can figure it out, but at the same time, not for me.
I remember one that was the Ghostbusters theme song mixed with AC/DC's Thunderstruck.
Oh my god.
And it was a really weird combo, but it works amazingly, and I still know how to find it because I still have it hidden away in my hard drive.
You know what I love? Like, this is a meme that came out about 2 years ago, and that meme, all the mashups of it, I've listened to all of them. I mean, you have to know this. Big Shaq, Men's Not Hot. You know what I'm talking about?
I kind of do, yeah.
That guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that guy.
Yeah, I know.
They took like the Ghostbusters theme and they put like his like specifically that like ad-lib part where he's like boom 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 like that thing, and they synced it, and it's the greatest thing ever. I've seen every single version. I love it. I love it, Kyo.
Oh my god.
I love that meme so much.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? Just send me something in Messenger later on.
do.
Like, I feel like I need to go back and look at that.
Yeah, you need to.
Oh, God. Oh, excuse me.
I'll get
It was a really bad one. Anyway, yeah, I feel you with the grunge styled music. Like that's let's see. I'm gonna list off a couple of bands and see if you know them or if you like them or not.
Okay.
Nirvana.
Of course.
Oh yeah, love Nirvana.
Great band. I had to write a paper
Yeah.
about Smells Like Teen Spirit for my bachelor's degree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Was that like a project that everybody had, or was that
Yeah,
just
basically-
or like did you just like pick a song and then like everybody
So you
got
had to pick
like,
and
analyze it?
This was a course that everyone in fine arts had to take. Like you have to take
Yeah.
this course. And you select an art object, and I selected Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then you progressively throughout the semester wrote about the entire song and all this stuff. It was a big thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well then, man, here's a band. I think I've discussed this with you before. AC/DC.
Of course, you sent me the cover.
Yeah. What?
I mean, you sang one cover with the instrumentals and.
Oh yeah. I don't think we ever finished that one.
No, I sent you the finalized version, and then I don't know what happened with it.
I don't know. I think I may have lost it.
Yeah, yeah.
I lose files surprisingly quickly because I'm not as organized as people might think I am. Let's see. What's another good one? Shoot. Kind of ran out already.
All good?
Oh, you know what? Have you ever heard of ZZ Top?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one concert that I've been to.
How was it?
And do you want to know where I saw it at?
Yeah, sure.
I saw it in Canada.
No way, you've been to Canada?
I've been to Canada before. I've been to
Vancouver.
Victoria.
Victoria, okay.
So it was like just outside of Vancouver, I think.
Yeah.
So I went there with my family. We basically booked a whole weekend, and it was basically just to go and see ZZ Top in concert.
That's amazing.
And that's the only concert I've been to. Don't want to go to concert again, as much fun as it was. But yeah, absolutely love that band. I remember I used to, again, like kind of like music is like surprisingly a bigger part of my life than I thought it was. But I remember my dad got this huge collection of like older CDs and stuff, and like at the time I had a convertible Toyota, and like I would let the top down, drive around in the sunshine, and like blast like Scorpions, ZZ Top, AC/DC. What was the other band that I listened to a lot? I guess I must have just listened to Scorpions quite a bit when I was in high school.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that's honestly that's the music. Oh, Genesis?
No.
No, not really.
No Genesis.
Never heard of it, or just not into it?
Never heard of Genesis.
Phil Collins.
Dude, the only reason I know about Phil Collins
Tarzan.
or no,
No.
South Park.
What?
They did a Phil Collins episode.
Oh, I guess of course they have.
It was like I'm trying to remember the context of the episode, but Phil Collins was doing a concert, and it just did not end well.
Or like that was his or like Genesis was his band before he split off and started doing his own thing.
Oh, okay, I see.
So like Genesis was another one that I listened to quite a bit. Like that is it's kind of a weird like synth kind of late 80s kind of music, like just when we were transitioning into the kind of the end of like that synth kind of rock music.
Right.
Yeah.
That's gotta be synth rock is what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna move on to movies. What's the most recent movie that you've seen lately?
Most recent movie? I think it's Akira, dude. Because we talked about it on the podcast.
Speaking of which, I did see recently that on YouTube somebody released a short by the director and the creator of the manga. Somebody did like a short animated video not long ago. It's not like a music video or anything. It's just like a small short film that I'll have to send you later. It's really like the whole art direction of Akira just like screams through like with the design of it.
Right on.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll have to send it to you later. There's like no dialogue. It's all like visual, but like but for some reason they do have like characters talking, but it's like gibberish.
It just screams Tetsuo.
Yeah, if they just said Tetsuo.
Oh my God.
It just said,
but there's no dialogue.
They're just like back and forth. That'd be funny.
Tetsuo, Sasuke.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah, no, not touching that one.
Not a lot. Not a whole lot of movies.
No, you think because I'm studying film music, I should watch more movies. I just have not taken the time to watch a lot of movies. I'm trying to remember. I saw the latest Avengers.
Okay.
It
seems like that was the only big thing that everybody was going to see for a while, but like now that it's kind of died down for now, we're just kind of waiting for the next wave of movies that they're putting out.
Yeah, I watched a horror movie over the summer.
Oh.
Because one night I was like, I want to watch a horror movie tonight, and I just, I went to the corner store.
You don't seem like a horror person to me, honestly.
I mean, I get into the horror movie mood once in a while. Like, I love detective stuff too. I'm big into I watch a lot of Dateline. But the movie itself was called 13 Cameras. Pretty okay movie at the end of it.
Huh.
But essentially, it's this new couple that moves into a new apartment, and the landlord has 13 cameras installed and like spies on them, and it takes a bad twist. And
that's creepy.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No.
So yeah.
Do you use what's your like primary source for like movies? Do you just like use Netflix? Honestly.
Netflix. I have the best roommate ever because she lets me use her Netflix. And
then when your own Netflix now?
No, and then when someone's watching Netflix there, I use my parents' Netflix. I am a Netflix parasite, and I am proud.
Yeah, Austin and I used to be, but then like there's always somebody has to be watching Netflix as well, and then like it takes up the number of people who can watch anything at any given time. So like he just ended up paying for his own Netflix subscription, which bugged me only because that means I have to change, or like I have to go through my preferences and just like rate all the movies that I've already seen, and just it's the smallest inconvenience.
That is such a first world problem. You know?
I know.
Come on, man.
We're on a podcast talking about music. Of course, it's a first world problem.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Have you seen, you know what, I might as well ask, like, what anime are you watching right now? Like, what's the current focus of, what's your current focus right now?
Okay, so I'm watching a couple. Also, I just want to say that you brought up the anime topic, not me.
Okay, I will admit, I did bring up the anime short film that I saw yesterday, so...
Yeah.
I'm taking responsibility for that. I'll admit it.
No, it's all good. I'm just pulling your tail. So I'm watching Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which is in ONA. I don't know what that stands for, but it's basically this little side series about this Dragon Ball card game. There's a new episode every like 5 weeks or something. That's been pretty cool. And then currently watching Boruto as well. I think I'm the only human I know who's watching Boruto. That's okay. I enjoy it. It's got it's rougher patches where I'm like, oh, this is a stupid episode. I'm not gonna watch it.
It's kind of like, from what I've seen, it's a mixed bag. It's not as good as Naruto or Shippuden, but it's still got a little bit of that charm that made it enjoyable in the first place.
Yeah. I'm also watching, because Hotshot and I have a deal, Little Witch Academia. I'm watching that right now. And I'm actually watching episodes, which I really hope he's watching GTO. Oh, by the way, Hotshot, the anime is called GTO. And then Great Teacher Onizuka. And then the other one I'm watching with my roommate, and it's Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, so you've never seen that before?
No, but I'm pretty deep into it.
Are you watching it on Netflix?
Netflix.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's the only. I think that's the only place that it's available right now, aside from Crunchyroll. But I don't use Crunchyroll, so.
Yeah, so that's where I'm watching that, and then I'm excitedly waiting the next My Hero Academia season. That's dropping in like 2 weeks.
We got a couple episodes into season 3, and we stopped just because we know that if we start one episode, we're gonna keep watching it like till we run out of stuff to watch. We're trying to savor it. I realized just yesterday that we went through the first 2 seasons. And we have the boxes, and we have the DVDs for the first and second half of season 3 already.
Right. I see what you mean. So yeah, that's basically what I've watched and currently watching. I'm watching Dr. Stone looks. Really good.
I was gonna say I'm actually watching Dr. Stone right now. I'm on episode 11.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that after Little Witch and Evangelion.
What do you think of Little Witch so far? I know this is like unofficial anime podcast, I guess.
Very friendship cherishy, and I'm trying to remember the main character's name. Akko. Akko's a very like rootable character that I'm enjoying so far. Her friends are there for her and supporting her.
Susie's my favorite character.
She's all right. But I like all the teachers are the same to me as well. They're all like old ladies are kind of like, oh, Akko, you must try harder. Like, oh, I want to train and be stronger. Like, it's got a lot of tropes to it. It's endearing. But so far so good. I've definitely seen a lot worse.
That's good.
So yeah, general overview thoughts. I'm only like 5-6 episodes.
Oh, that's fine. It's not. It's a little bit longer. I think it's 24 episodes. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's really not that long.
Okay, yeah, it's like a standard 2-season series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty good. There are a couple of specials on Netflix if you want to take a look at those. There's like 2 separate ones. They're not. I guess they're not necessarily canon, but like I think one of them was like a pilot to like kind of give people something to look at, and then the other one is like a special, like an OVA.
Right on, okay.
So like the OVA is like a parade celebrating how the progression of witches and like how they went from like the Salem witch trials and like having tomatoes and shit thrown at them to like how they are now, how they're integrated into society.
Well then,
I like it. It's a nice little detour if you want to like watch that. It's not required if you just want to watch the main series, honestly.
No, I mean, I really want like this. I'm really like basically I'm watching this because I really want Hotshot to watch Great Teacher Onizuka. So, and I know deep down in my heart of hearts that he hasn't even started. So I'm hoping it happens.
I'm pushing him towards it. Every chance I get, I remind him.
Yeah. Because seriously, Hotshot.
He's remembering. He's just always work. It's always work, and then when he comes home, he games, and then he passes out.
I mean, I don't blame him. He's doing a lot of hours.
Yeah, he's supervisor, so like I don't blame him for being tired all the time. So on the topic of anime, tell me a anime that you hated, like one that you absolutely disliked, because we always. Like, when it comes to anime podcasters, we're kind of picky about what we put on, and we put out the stuff that we actually really like, usually. Am I right?
No, fair enough. We definitely
so, like,
do.
I don't think we've really talked about shows that we've hated yet. Like, we don't have to go into, like, a whole thing about it. I just want to, like, get, like, maybe one example from you, and maybe we can make a full episode out of this.
Definitely the first one that comes to mind. I'm actually heading over to my anime list right now to see, because it's come to that point where I've watched so many animes that I refer to this list to remember what I
found out that I've watched about like maybe 20 to 30 series. by using Anime List, and I was like, oh, I guess I have spent a lot of my time wasting my life in front of the TV.
Dude, it says I've watched over 2 months worth of anime on my Anime List. And I'm like, well, you know what? Let's make it 3 months. But the first one that comes to mind is Sword Art Online Season 2.
Really? I thought you and Hotshot were really into that.
The first season,
just like
Season 1, Part 1 and 2 are really, really, really good. But the whole Gun Gale thing just did not work for me. It was just terrible. So definitely that one is one that comes to mind. And I'm trying to see here, but that's the only one I can see in my scores right now that I'm pretty good. The rest of the lowest mark I've ever gotten was like a 7. I've given was a 7. So yeah, no, definitely that one is one that comes to mind.
I feel like I've definitely seen some stuff that I just don't care for.
Such as
I can say that I don't like High School of the Dead for the most part.
Oh, I actually enjoyed High School of the Dead.
I have a love-hate relationship with High School of the Dead because
I remember.
Yeah, I was recommended it back when I first got into anime. I think it's a bad show to start with when you're just like getting into anime. I think that it's something that you need to watch like after you've seen some of the really good stuff and then move on to like some of the so-so stuff. I think it's probably a better transitional series to like get into like the really bad kind of stuff, the stuff that's not really that's not up to the like high standard that people think of, like the Cowboy Bebops, the Triguns, or Ghost in the Shell kind of stuff.
Right.
Like just on the opposite end of that spectrum, because there's so many, like, anime is so oversaturated. Like in Japan, there is so much of it. It's insane. Like there's more anime in Japan than there are cartoons in the world. Like it's insane.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a lot more over there. There's over a million series in anime. It's insane.
Damn, over a million.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
I really felt like you were, but like
No, I'm serious. I'm pretty sure there's at least a million series that have been made since like the 1960s. Like if you just group them by like franchise, there's probably like a couple thousand.
Oh man.
But there's like millions of like one seasons and stuff like that. But, yeah, my gosh.
Just getting a headache thinking about it.
Yeah. Dude, have you ever just like scrolled all the way down to the bottom of my anime list?
I have before, yeah.
It's insane how much there is.
I have because I was looking for different series, and that's how I came across. Like, because I had finished Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals, and I wanted something similar to that. And then the next one was the Attack on Titan Chibi thing. So I definitely like watched that as well.
I've tried some of that. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I love it.
You're biased. I think you like Attack on Titan a lot, though. Is the thing.
You don't like Attack on Titan?
I don't hate it. I like it. I like it enough. I think it's good.
I think it's one of the best animes that's come out in this decade.
I don't think it's as good as like Hero Academia, though. I think Hero Academia
it's arguable. It's arguable.
I think Hero Academia is above Attack on Titan personally because it's got a wider appeal for starters, and on top of that, like there are character dynamics that you don't really see in Attack on Titan that you do see in Hero Academia. That honestly, like, I guess it's entirely preference, but personally, I prefer Hero Academia. Hero Academia keeps me coming back. Attack on Titan, I feel like I'm getting the same episode here and there. There's always a new Titan or something that has to. They always have to. It's literally just like Walking Dead, the anime. And I'm not a huge fan of Walking Dead necessarily.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you haven't watched all that. Like, you haven't watched season 2 of Attack on Titan, from what I recall.
Yeah, I haven't seen season 2. I finished season 1. Season 1's okay.
But like you're arguing at a point where you haven't even seen the other seasons. So and you've seen more of My Hero Academia. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've seen all of Attack on Titan and all of My Hero Academia so far, and like it's arguable either way, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I guess stepping away from that tangent of anime, I suppose.
Yeah, enough anime talk, honestly.
Yeah. Let's talk about other cartoons.
More cartoons!
It's like Martin Mystery.
Oh, yeah.
Do they have an English dub? Because I didn't hear about
Definitely.
it until
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, there is.
Okay. So I heard there's a total of like 3 seasons of that show.
I don't remember the specifics of that show. It's
Right.
a long time.
But yeah, of course, it's been a while. But so I didn't hear about it until recently. But apparently, in America, we didn't even know about Martin Mystery that much because it was on Nickelodeon, and then Totally Spies was on Cartoon Network. So it was the same company making the cartoon. But then when it comes over to America, 2 separate channels are playing it, so we didn't even get the crossover episode with Totally Spies. Yeah.
Missed out.
Yeah, so I'm told. Like, I'm actually considering checking it out.
You should. From what I recall, it was really good.
Yeah, I saw the first couple minutes of it before the podcast started, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what the show's called.
Oh crap, gotta talk to Jaian now.
Yeah. Or like, I just got interested in it because I realized like there are quite a few cartoons from like Canada and France that were pretty big over here, and they were kind of like anime-ish, and like they came out at just the right time for like people to be like getting into anime, like when anime was just like starting to come over to America. So like I feel like they hit the perfect point where America was really into anime.
I see what you mean.
All right, I'm going to start asking a very odd question that I've been holding on to for a while. Tell me about the worst night of sleep that you've ever had in your life.
Worst night of sleep I've had in my life.
You don't have to give me a date. You just have to recall the events of that, like, really bad night that you may or may not recall.
I mean, I've definitely had nights where I just like have the hardest time to fall asleep, but I eventually fall asleep. What's the worst night of sleep I've ever had? Like, what makes a night of sleep like a bad night of sleep? Like nightmares?
Or like anything that like keeps you from waking up feeling like, oh yeah, I got a good amount of sleep, and then like just being ready to get up, go
like
shower,
as a student,
be ready
that's
for
like
the day.
that's part of like my everyday life. Like,
yeah.
Oh god, I wish I could sleep more. But I guess I've had a bunch of like night shift jobs before.
Oh yeah.
And then when you try to fall asleep after your night shift, so in the morning, I don't know, does that count if like I finish at like 7 a.m. and then I try to fall asleep and I can't? Because
I would consider that a terrible night of sleep, honestly.
Okay. I have a quick story.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so I was working at this fast food spot, and it was my
of course.
I was doing 2 night shifts in a row, and I was really stressed out about it. So I bought caffeinated pills, super intense caffeine pills that keep you awake. So,
yikes.
Long story short, my shift was from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and the guy was like, "Just take one, and you will, and I promise you will be fully awake for the rest of the night." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take one right at 1 a.m. in the middle of my shift." No, wait, right at 3 a.m. Sorry, at the middle of my shift.
Mm-hmm.
I take it at 3 a.m. and then I am jumping off the wall. I'm just like super awake.
You're
like,
bad enough as it is. I don't want to know what you'd be like.
No. I was like running to the cash. I was grabbing the food. I was bringing it. I was so efficient. And then like 5 a.m. shows up and I'm like, oh man, okay, I'll just take one more. Like what's the worst thing that could happen? I take one more. I finish my shift. I'm wide awake. Like I am wide awake. I was like, okay, what can I do to like make sure I don't go to bed when I get home? I'm like, I know, I'll sprint home. I finished my 8-hour night shift and people just see me running home and they're like, what is wrong with that dude? What's going on? I get home.
I'm like, okay, God, Jaian.
I'll take a shower. That'll help me. I take a super hot shower. I'm feeling relaxed. I lay down in my bed. No, you're not going to bed. You are not sleeping. And I just tossed and turned till like 11 a.m. and finally fell asleep.
Oh my God, Jaian.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like stress dreams where you get home from work, you go to bed, and in the dream, you're dreaming that you're still working?
All the time.
I hate that. I remember when I first did a night shift at a restaurant job, and I got home. I laid down. I was ready to sleep. I was absolutely ready to go to bed. I laid down, face up. I don't remember if Austin was living with me at the time or not, but I do recall turning back and forth in the dream. I remember the restaurant was a very square shaped building.
Right.
So there was the front, there were 2 registers on the far back, for the sections of the servers and such, and I remember turning my shoulders left and right in my bed, and then waking up and sitting up and oh, I'm not at work. Oh, thank God. I lay back down, I have the dream again, fuck. And I finally turn face down, lay down, I fall asleep, and then the next morning I'm like, that was a terrible night.
I have where I'm working my student job right now. I've had a dream where I finish my shift, I go to bed, and then I'm dreaming that I'm at work, and there's customers waiting for me at the cash, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna go back to bed, and I just go back to bed, and the customers stay there. I'm like, someone will take care of it, not me. I'm in bed. That's what has been happening to me lately.
That would be the best dream for me, because any customer service job, that's all you want to do. You just want to be someone else will deal with this.
I've had dreams where with the previous jobs where I wake up, I go to bed, and then I wake up, and I'm like, oh, I can't, I gotta go mop the floor, and I'm like, I'm in my house. What do you mean?
I can mop the floor here, but I don't really feel like it.
No, I'm not doing that. It's just, oh man, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ugh,
yeah, I guess that would qualify as the worst sleep you probably had.
Yeah,
honestly. not actually going to sleep for 8 hours or 4 hours.
The thing is, as a student, and everyone's done this whole all-nighter thing. Everyone as a student has that.
Yeah, I remember. I've never done an all-nighter in that situation. Really.
I've never done an all-nighter in my entire life.
I've never had to stay up so late that in 2 hours I have to get ready to go to school.
Yeah, no.
But I did have one day where I stayed up so late, and then I realized, I guess I should get ready for school. But I tried to go lay down and just sleep for a little bit before I had to go. Couldn't do it. It was 2 a.m. I get up, and then I decide, I'm just gonna get ready to go to school again.
Yeah.
But, I had gotten home around 9 p.m. again, and for me, I have to hop on a bus, go all the way down to maybe about 40 miles into the state to get to the city that my school was at. And so then from there, it's another 20 minutes to walk through, and it's 3 a.m, 3 hours, 4 hours until the school actually opens. Nobody is there.
Oh my God.
So I just walk there, and I wait outside for the entire time, freezing my ass off, simply because I couldn't go to sleep.
I've had nights in my apartment, basically the street that I live on for the last 4 months has been under construction. If you follow me on Instagram,
is it still going on?
It's almost done. If you follow me on Instagram, you definitely see me rant about that. It's been everything from, so when I found out 2 days before it was gonna happen. I was walking to the corner store, and then I see this big sign construction for 4 months on this street. I'm like, wait, that's exactly where I live. No. So it'll be fine. It's all good. So I go to bed. I always sleep with earplugs. I'm like, I sleep with earplugs. It's fine. And my room is the closest to the street. There's a window facing towards the street, and I can wake it.
Do you leave your window cracked at night? Do you like the cold air?
No. I close my window completely.
Okay.
I let the airflow all day, and then I'll close my window. So at 7 a.m., like all the big construction, I get woken up and I have to work in like a couple of hours. I'm like, screw this. You know, I go to work. I'm absolutely tired. Absolutely, like it's the worst. So then I go to a pharmacy and I'm like, I need something for this. And he's like, you know what you need? You need like better earplugs. So he gives me these super huge earplugs. I'm like, okay. I use those, and then I take it one step further. I move my bed towards the other side of my room, and I put my fan between my bed and my window. Like that, my fan's going on, and it's blocking more of the sound. And so that worked for the most part, but sometimes like they were doing so much construction that the apartment would shake. And they've cut out the water. They've taken out the power. The water was like not drinkable for a whole week once.
Oh my gosh!
And sometimes I couldn't take a shower. Like it was such a pain, and it's still going on. But honestly, like I'm used to it now. Like if it were to go on for another 4 months, I'd be ready to go. Honestly.
It's weird how that like becomes a standard after a while. You know.
You literally
like you just grow to just deal with it.
It's adaptation, man.
Yeah, it just shows that we're able to adapt.
We will adapt.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned construction. Like down the road from where we live, there are these train tracks. They're old train tracks that don't get used a whole lot, but for some reason there's construction. And from where I live, you can take a left out of the street that our apartment lives on, and take a left, go down the road. And you can get the bridge to the next town over. It's just like a quick, like, straight shot. But because of that construction, people have to go around it, and there are, like, 2 different directions you can go, and they both take so much time that you have to account for the time if you're, like, going to work.
Right.
It's like you have to take another 10, 20 minutes just in order to make sure that you can actually get to work on time. Because that construction is such a huge inconvenience.
I mean, for me, I just have to go around the block. It's really not that big a deal.
Well, like you can, or like what, you can
walk
and you can hop on the bus, yeah?
Yeah, I never take the bus. I always, like, walk to the subway.
Okay.
But, but, like, just to walk to the subway
I'm glad
station.
You don't take the bus anymore. Like, didn't you say you used to take the bus here and there?
I mean, before I moved out, like, I had to take the bus to go to school all the time. But now it's not the case anymore.
Public buses are gross.
I mean, I don't mind them. I'm used to them. It's fine.
Like, maybe they're not as bad in your country, but ours are disgusting.
I mean, I haven't been to your country, so I would not.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, you know what? Maybe that'll be one of the attractions we take you on when you visit. You know, maybe.
You know, I was thinking like going to Vancouver, going to like the Seattle Tower thing, or there's like a walk thing. Like, I was thinking more like touristic thing.
I can take you to Seattle. I'll happily take you to Seattle, show you everything in Seattle. But I also, just because I want you to understand the pain that people go through with, like, public transportation, just to know, like, how ugly our bus system is.
All right, fair enough.
Like, purely just because I want you to see how gross these things are.
I mean, if that's your fetish, I'm kidding.
Like,
come to the bus. No, I'm kidding.
Get on the bus.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, like, it's such an all-access thing that, like, anybody with, like, $3 can get on the bus. And, like, the buses haven't been reupholstered or fixed since, like, 1990 or something like that. Like, the upholstery is that weird, like, very obviously, like, 1990s pattern that you saw on, like, almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's our what's the word? I guess that's our tangent into public transportation.
Good old public transportation.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't have the buses or the trains are expensive down here. Subway and the subways and
in Montreal it's actually cheaper because you have a student discount.
Oh.
So I'm only.
I don't think the student discount was covered at my school. That may just be you guys. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I'm lucky like that, right?
Yeah. Funny how your idea of like coming down to America is to go back into Canada a little bit to look at Vancouver.
I mean, it's on your side of the our side of the
continent.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I totally
Yeah.
get that. I'm just saying it's a little funny that you want to go back into Canada after like coming all the way across Canada just to come to the U.S.
Well, I mean, you guys are right next to the border, so it's like it's.
Yeah,
perfect.
it's true. Yeah, like it's like 30, maybe an hour away.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, not that far. Like I've been to like almost. Actually, yeah, I have been to like both ends of the state from like top to bottom.
Right.
It is a long drive, and I hate it.
But you won't hate it when I'm there.
I'll still hate it.
Come on, we'll slap on some anime podcasters.
Listen to our own podcast in the car.
Dude, I listen to my own podcast. I have.
You know what? I don't blame. You know what, Jaian? I don't blame you because, like, I have to admit, not the first time I've said it on a podcast, but I didn't listen to anime podcasters a whole lot when I was just doing the thumbnails, like when Hotshot became your co-host.
Yeah, of course.
So that gave me an entire backlog to listen to. One day, I was working at another restaurant that I did about a month ago, and I was just listening to it, and I was laughing quite a bit, and I was like, you know what? I don't know why I didn't want to listen to some of these. These are actually pretty funny.
Thank you. I mean,
like it was just based on titles alone, and the fact that you didn't do as many like anime show reviews as much as you used to.
Yeah,
and just,
well,
started doing aspects of like other shows, and like I don't hate it. It's just like I just prefer like hearing about your opinions on like like full on series and just stuff that like people would like seemingly look up if they were like, how do people feel about this anime? Oh, okay. You know.
Well, fair enough. I mean, just Hotshot and I have a couple of common animes, and that's why I'm watching his series and he's watching my series.
Yeah.
And we're trying to
I'm hoping that he does more of that. But he did actually finish another anime not long ago.
Which was?
Nichijou.
Which I haven't watched.
It's a slice of life comedy. Very it's a I don't know if the style or if it's familiar to you or not. I'll have to send you like a picture of it. Maybe you'll recognize it then. But it's fun. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I mean, just like anime podcasters, I feel like has been this project that you and we originally started just because I really wanted to podcast about anime. I really just really wanted to do it, and I was like, Kyo would be the perfect guy to do this with. Because, well, first of all, you had a mic and you also enjoyed anime, so I was like, it makes sense. And then I feel like we started doing it when Daydreamer Studios was a thing, and then when Daydreamer Studios, unfortunately, Daydreamer Studios was the channel that Kyo and Hotshot created and collabed with them on before it got terminated by YouTube because we don't know why. And then when that happened and we started doing anime podcasters and Yuki was on and you were on and Hotshot was on, I feel like anime podcasters has been that string that's kind of always been there since we've like been friends, and it's that thing that we've been like that's brought us to collaborate together so much and to make us like obviously if we stopped doing the podcast I would still talk to you guys all the time and I'd still hit you up and just
absolutely, like it's not the only thing that keeps us talking to each other.
No, but it's definitely like
I feel like I feel like just the fact that that all three of us are artists and we kind of like to share just talking about stuff, and just since we like to talk about stuff together, we also have an interest in some of the same things, and we kind of like to share that, and we want to like work on projects together, and it's honestly why we still do stuff together,
100%. It's definitely why we still do stuff together. And I feel like with Hotshot, he came on like at episode 20 something, like 25 I think. So we've done like over 40 episodes together, and he and I I really feel like the chemistry that we've developed at this point is the best it's ever been. Like it's just like we see each other and I'm like, I hate you. He's like, I hate you too. It's like let's just you ready? And like the Boruto episode we did where I'm trying to convince him to watch Boruto, it that one. He's like, I hate this thing so much. I'm like, but you're gonna watch it. You're gonna put it on your watch list. I don't care what it takes, Hotshot. He's like, I don't know. I really.
He was having such a bad day when I heard about that you were trying to convince him to watch Boruto. The last thing he wants to talk about.
I know. It was like the timing was so like. The timing was.
It was perfect, and he was such a good sport about it. And like I heard a snippet not long ago of it, and I'm laughing at it, and I can't wait to like get off the podcast and like listen to it for a little while and just see how uninterested how he could not be bothered to go
he really wasn't like
and watch it.
I was hitting him with every angle I could, and he's like, okay. But no. But like, I don't know. We just have such a good chemistry together, and he's such a I don't think he realizes how talented he is at podcasting. I think he just shows up and he's there, like, all right, let's do it. But he's such a natural. He's such a natural.
He's been doing performing since he was in middle school.
Yeah.
And like, I actually got to meet him through acting, like in acting class in high school. And so, like, he and I met in freshman year. I did not like him.
And then you started doing a podcast.
Yeah. Like, he'll tell you that he and I did not get along the first year that we knew each other. I just found him so annoying at the time. And now he's annoying in an endearing way where I don't care about the stupid shit that he does anymore. It's just part of knowing Austin at this point. And it's so weird that I've gone from absolutely hating the guy
to living with him
and him being one of the people I am closest to in my life. Honest to God. I have told him stuff that some people do not know about me.
I mean, that's what friends are for.
That is staying in the podcast.
Yeah. No, but that's
and
what
now
friends are for.
everyone can know, and everyone can now pester Austin about secrets about me.
Oh my God.
But yeah, Austin has such a natural knack and interest in performing. Like when I first met him, he was always humming a tune of some kind. He's always been a musical person. And I can't wait for him to work on more music covers, because that Quest for Camelot song that you guys did a couple years back, absolutely awesome job on both your parts.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, he sang so well.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. No, he's a very talented performer for sure. And that's why I'm always telling him to like post and just make content.
Yeah, he's just the only reason he doesn't post stuff is he just gets so burnt out so quickly after like just all his work, and I don't blame him, but I'm with you in saying I want to see him put out more stuff, mostly because he is such a unique person that I've never met anyone remotely similar to him, that I'm so curious about the stuff that would come out of his mind, like the stuff that, because like when he and I were in high school, we used to write comic books together.
Right.
So, like, he came up with ideas, and he would send me his descriptions of characters, backstories. He would have so much information. He would just pour out, like, so much writing and just ideas that he had and that he really wanted to see me put together. And I wasn't even a good artist at the time.
Right.
I was just barely learning how to draw humans, because at the time before I started drawing humans, I used to just draw Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Because like he was the easiest character to design, and that was how I started my art career.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But like I feel like we've kind of gone off on that, but still I'm totally with you in saying I'd love to see him create more stuff. He seems like he would naturally charm so many people, and he has a weird natural charisma to him.
Oh, he definitely does. And the other thing too, it made me think of when we did Cloud 9, another podcast series. We made this bet, and I re-listened to that episode where Hasha and I made a bet where he had to create a video, one pony video, post it, and he needs to get 100 views, and he won the bet. And he didn't even like make the video at the end of it. And like, if I had lost, I would have watched a whole season of My Little Pony, My Friendship is Magic. And if he lost, he had to watch a whole anime series. So I obviously made him watch Zanki no Terror, which is my favorite series ever.
Yeah, and he was true to his word. He sat through it.
Yeah.
He didn't watch it. He didn't watch it subbed because
I
God
let him
knows he wouldn't dare.
I let him
God knows he wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, we've both only seen maybe 3 sub series in the subbed. So and quite frankly, we're not against sub, we just prefer English.
No, totally.
Like, you know what? I actually so this has been, have you done this twice? I don't remember. The sub versus dub argument.
We have done it.
I remember
once.
you did one with Yuki.
I've done it once with Yuki.
You've done it once.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that you wanted to do another episode on that? I don't want to like give away your list of ideas.
I mean,
but,
no,
like,
actually, I never considered the idea. I couldn't do it with Hotshot because Hotshot's like not a subbed person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, like you're more dub personally, right?
I'm honestly like a 60-40 at this point.
Okay.
'Cause I do watch a lot of sub. Like Boruto, I watch sub. I watch Super sub. I'm watching Dragon Ball Hero sub. I'm watching Evangelion dubbed. I'm watching My Little Witch dubbed. Yeah. So I'm all over the place. I can like if someone flipped, like I've watched My Hero subbed and dubbed. I'm all over the place. I've adapted.
I see. I mean, like, I would just like to see your guys' opinions kind of clash or just, like, compare and contrast on an episode, because the stuff that you guys said on the sub versus dub with Yuki, I really enjoyed that. I like your guys' back and forth on that whole thing, and it was, like, really calm and really kind of laid back. But I would love to see Austin just go, I don't fucking watch sub because I don't speak Japanese. Like, that'd probably be his biggest argument for that whole podcast.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have to like bring up. Yeah, it's gotta be that thing where he needs to watch sub, and I need to, because like the reason why it worked is because Yuki and I both watched subbed and dubbed, so that's why we could argue back and forth so much.
He's watched a few subbed, I will say.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, though. Only because, like, English dub was not available. And he was so interested in it that he was like, you know what, I'm just going to watch it because I really want to see it.
Gosh, I'll put myself through the pain. Poor Hotshot.
Yeah, I remember not long ago, there was an anime that I watched that was only in subbed. And I really wanted to see it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to swallow it and just, like, watch it. And I liked it, and then I heard about the English dub coming out like a year later, and I'm like, well, now I need to get the DVD, because now I have to hear how it sounds in English.
Right.
It's fun. It is kind of fun to compare and contrast, like, sub and dub, if you've seen both sides of it, sometimes.
Agreed, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a whole universe.
Yeah, it's weird, honestly. Like... It's amazing how, like, some people are so interested, or how people are so close-minded to one over the other. And, like, personally, I'm just not interested in sub because, like, I don't speak the language, and I think the inflections are going to be a little bit off, and I'm not going to get the intention as much. And I'm always focused on, like, the subtitles themselves, and I feel bad because, like, if I'm watching the subbed, and then... like, I have to watch the subtitles, I feel like I'm not enjoying the actual anime. I feel like I'm just reading a book for the most part.
Right? No, totally fair.
And I feel bad because I really like animation. Like, anything animated is something that I'm interested in. Like, even if it's bad, I'll at least give it a shot. You know?
No, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's really... interesting how some people are just like, oh, all English dub is bad. I'm like, well, that's the language you kind of grew up with.
I think there's like different animes have different like some of them are better subbed, some like the Cowboy Bebop is that one anime that's always gonna be better dubbed.
Definitely. Like, I think there are more people who agree with that than people who disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think it's a little refreshing to see people like the dub over the sub.
I really like,
because I know those people who are like sub is better. I'm like, that's your opinion.
I mean, we're all entitled to our opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like I would like to see people like explore stuff a little bit more, like, or like I can say that I've seen subbed and dubbed, and I'm like I just have a preference.
Definitely.
Yeah. There. Just take that clip from start to finish, Jaian, and you've got your entire sub versus dub argument part 2. Just take that clip and post it on the channel.
Hi guys, welcome back to
just
insert
add,
clip.
Yeah, just add that bit, and then edit bits of me from this podcast, and then make that the entire part 2 of that argument.
I've done podcasts, like, I remember, like, Yuki, like, sent me her audio, and then, like, her audio just cut out at some point. So what I would do is I would just take, like, bits of her saying, yeah, definitely, and I would, like, cut them in.
Don't let Yuki hear that. That sounds terrible.
No. And, like, if you guys, should I say what episode?
I don't. I don't want to know, because if I hear it, then I'm gonna go back and listen to that episode and like listen to that episode.
But like I did it in a way that
closely.
like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Everyone's listening to that podcast and no one ever found out.
Was it just for like a snippet and then it went back?
No, like for like a good 10-15 minutes, like the audio would just silence.
God.
And then so I would just take like the for sure, and then the audio came back for like the last 5 minutes when we plugged our stuff. It was weird, so I was just like, you know what, like, I don't know what's going on here, but I can work with this, and then I just made it happen.
Did you even tell Yuki that the audio cut out?
I think so, or I'm pretty sure I did, yeah.
Now I'm worried that's happened to me.
No, it's only happened with Yuki.
That you've like taken clips from like episode 1 of me going.
No. It was all in the same episode. Like
for sure.
I have a sound bank of all you guys like just going yeah.
Of us just saying yeah while you're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
You actually do.
No, I don't. Oh my god.
Oh god. I almost believed you that you actually did.
That would be just beyond insane.
Yeah. It would be funny if like people believe that like Austin, Yuki, and I just don't exist. You just made other channels to collaborate with. And like we're just like sound banks taken from people that you may or may have not have known.
For sure. Definitely. No,
that'd be funny. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh.
I've had to improvise a lot in just audio engineering.
Oh yeah. I mean, like you kind of have to.
Yeah.
I've dabbled in your world a little bit, not nearly as much as you have, but obviously. But God, you have such a hard job.
It's a fun job.
It is a fun job, yeah. It's kind of fun to mess around with audio, but it's it's also kind of funny when like somebody just doesn't know how to do that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you all start somewhere.
You all do start somewhere, but sometimes it's funny when you like hear or like somebody slows something down and then it's just like not put together very well, you know?
I mean, that's basically all my old videos.
Yeah.
That have been deleted.
Yeah. Along with that Christmas album.
Oh man.
Can you just send that to me? Just the album. I will keep it as a treasure.
I don't know if I don't have a copy on either of my laptops.
Please find it and give it to me. That's all I want for Christmas.
All I want for Christmas is that. No. I've had people re-upload.
All I want for Christmas is Jaian's music.
Jaian's music. Yeah. No, but like I've had people re-upload like covers that I've done, like covers I wish like.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Huh.
Yeah, people have re-uploaded my stuff before, which my deleted stuff.
That's weird. It's weird when people do that. Like, why don't you just go to the channel if you actually really like the artist?
No, because it's been deleted, and then they re-upload it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like
I see.
I've done the whole 16 abridged thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somebody
re-uploaded those?
Just the one episode, which I'm glad.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like the behind-the-scenes one that you guys had on like Vimeo or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Someone re-uploaded the in the booth version of episode 1, which is such a. That project was like it was essentially me trying to be like Team 4-Star. No sound effects design, barely any clip editing, horrible voice acting. Raunchy jokes that are just horrible. Just like a recipe to crash and burn.
Man, you gotta start somewhere, Jaian.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I was just thinking of that. Like, a video I could do is just, like, projects I've done that, like, eventually ended. Like, I have done quite a few. Yeah. Like, there's bands I've done. There's rap that I've done. There's
just like
Cloud9.
Remaking stuff that you did forever ago is kind of becoming a thing that YouTubers are doing, and I kind of like it.
I mean, I don't know if I would remake them, but I definitely would like to make a video highlighting what they were.
Yeah, it'd be nice to like just have like a little video of like just you like reminiscing on some old projects that like people who have been on the channel for a long time have just been like, oh yeah, I remember when you put that out. Like just, you know, maybe like start a conversation in the comments about like just how they felt about the music and like what your thoughts about it were. Just
that's if like anyone remembers, because the thing is, like, I'm a small channel regardless. And I don't think, like, I think my close friends will remember. Like, Ben will remember what Christmas Right was, or like 16 Abridged. Or like,
I do really love the artwork for that one. Whoever made that did a really good job.
Oh yeah,
for the Christmas one.
It's my friend Alex. Draw Alex. He's a really, really talented guy. He actually is in Montreal. Yeah. He's that friend that I only get to see like once a year, because it's like during the summer he's free, and we see each other a couple times, and then I see him at the beginning of school, and then he goes in his hole and he just studies and studies and studies and studies and studies, and then when Christmas comes around, he comes out of his hole. He sees his family, and January comes around, and it's back to the grind. He is such a hard-working artist. He actually he's done like the artwork for Rebirth, and then he did the artwork for the first Chip Machine.
That was how I based the new design on Chippy.
Yeah, Chippy.
Chip.
Yeah, Chip Machine.
Is it Chip or Chippy?
Okay. So for the people who don't know,
the little mascot.
The people who don't know what I'm talking about, Chip Machine is a 8-bit music project that I started back in 2014. It's a solo project. Chip Machine is like just me, at least for the musical side. And I started it. I did one 8-bit album. I put it on 2015, and then I started working on the one in 2016. Didn't like it, so I just put it down. And then when I was doing my bachelor's degree, I needed more credits. So for the summer, I decided to do an independent study with a teacher, and he's like, okay, so what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to do chiptune and electroacoustic music, which is basically what I was studying at the time. So I rebirthed Chip Machine, because I was like, that's the perfect way to bring it back. And I did, like, just as a fun thing, I did a Pokemon cover CD, which we could talk about the whole artwork thing there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep that one on the side.
That's my first like run-in with copyright where I had to change the artwork.
That was just such a...
And I love it.
Yeah. It was such a confusing thing.
I kind of love when people try to censor you. It's a little hilarious how much people give a shit about like copyright. You know what? Like,
I get it, but at the same time, they're allowed to feel that way, and it made it more fun for us.
I totally understand that viewpoint. But my only problem is, like, we're not doing any harm to Nintendo or anything, you know? Like, we're not taking away from their ad revenue, you know what I'm saying?
Well, technically we are, because we're distributing it, like, throughout, like, all of the platforms. Because basically what happened, it was a Pokemon cover album. And it was called Chiptune I Choose You. And it was like 10 Pokemon Game Boy songs that I covered and made 8-bit remixes of. And then the Pokeball and the text were the big things where we had to change. So we replaced the Pokeball with a sandwich and did a different font. And basically the people I used to Root Note, I love Root Note. They're great. They're amazing. They were like, well, listen, you just can't. You can't. They also gave me this thing where like Chippy looked like Gumby, and I was like, come on, like enough.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one. That one was so like That was like the most out of nowhere one I've ever heard, and I never would have thought of that.
I was like,
I don't even give a shit about Gumby. Nobody cares about that guy anymore.
But the thing is, like, I done like a bunch of different EPs before, and Chippy always looked at Chippy. So why are you bringing up this Gumby thing now? And the coloring
on the Pokemon album. Yeah, but I even gave him the yellow bits
and
on
the hat,
didn't I? Yeah.
So I don't know, and plus like he's definitely like more square. Shading is completely different. It's not like the same modeling at all.
I even gave him those weird squiggly cheek things that Ash has from the
I know
anime.
exactly. So that's why I was like super confused. So that EP came out, and then I made the my independent study. I ended up doing an EP called Electroacoustic, which was a play on words of chiptune and electroacoustic. That was fun. And then during my second year of electroacoustic studies, I did a course called Laptop Orchestra, which was my favorite course ever, and that inspired me to do the.
I love the artwork on that one because it's just like
gorgeous.
I find it hilarious that it's just like copy pasted for the most part. Like some or like the chippies are all the same, but they're all or like some of them are all the same, but they're all just like sitting in the dark typing away on their laptops.
Yeah, but that's literally what a laptop orchestra concert is. Like
yeah, exactly. It's a funny image to me, but it also just like takes me to like remembering like movies like Fantasia and Fantasia 2000, but like replacing the instruments with like laptops.
Yeah, exactly. And that course was so much fun, and so I basically inspired myself from different songs that we did throughout the laptop orchestra. Like we had one song called Game of Drones by a student, so I really like that concept, so I used a bunch of drone synthesizers, and it started with like only like a singular note, and then we started playing with like different notes, and then I sent that over to my friend called Vibor. That's his electronic music project, and he like added even more layers, and we did like really weird pannings. What else did we have? I had like one called Helter Skelter, which was like basically all these notes just synced to different like tempos and always changing with different instruments and spatialized really differently. What else? A Cymosphere, that was a fun one. Watch the Tempo. It was a really cool EP, and just one that I really, really enjoyed. And I actually started working on the next Chip Machine EP. I have like one demo so far that I worked on, and I'm collaborating with a friend.
I'm excited to see what you got.
That's gonna be like
always
like.
The Chip Machine stuff is always fun. Like it's always fun to like dabble into 8-bit stuff, or just like drawing like this cartoony. I love the design of it. Like I liked simplifying it from the Mario chip drawing that we did, or that Alex did. But yeah, like Chip Machine is always a fun project to work on for me.
I love working on it. I'm really glad that you enjoy it. Like Chip Machine was that one thing where I was like, I am JaianMusic, but I also want like a side project where I can just like do something else than just the raps and the covers and the podcasts and the persona.
I think it's important for an artist to like step outside of what they really like and try different stuff.
Yeah, and that's what Chip Machine is to me.
Like
honestly.
Yeah.
And the thing I've realized too with Chip Machine is that with how many? We have 4 EPs now. Well, 2 albums, 2 EPs. And the more I've been doing this music, the more I've been like stepping away from the 8-bit thing. Like it's the next EP is like not even 8-bit anymore. It's like I don't want to give too much away because it's still in early phases. But like the first song I worked on is there's barely any chiptune and like idea to it. Like you can make the arguments. It's always gonna be synths is like the instrument.
Yeah, synth is kind of the evolution of like chip tunes, like from those NES games, and like it's always been kind of an 80s sound, and it's kind of evolved into synth in a way.
Like when you like I don't want to go too down like the technicality. Like you have like different like
obviously
sound waves. Like you have square waves and sawtooths and sine waves, and those are like really. And then I use a lot of like noise, like actual white noise or pink noise for percussive instruments. That was like the basic like sketch for the first album, and that was really fun. But it evolved more and more as I went along with, especially with the Pokemon one. I really just used like because like the first EP was I only used the one virtual instrument. I only used the 8-bit magical plugin. I didn't use anything else for like the percussion or the synth. Like it was only that. That was the only like thing that generated sound. I obviously like used different plugins for the mixing and mastering, but just to generate the actual sounds, it was the one virtual instrument. And then for the Pokemon one, it's different virtual instruments. And then for the Electro-Acoustic chip, it's just I made a sound bank. And then for the laptop orchestra, it's like I went all over the place to getting my sounds. It was all over the freaking place, which was really fun. And now for the next one, it's gonna be even more different, even more. It's really wacky. And the friend I'm working on with it, he's from the Electroacoustic program, and he DJs a lot. He's a really talented dude. So I'm just excited to like work on this with him. It's probably gonna be 3 songs, 3 very long songs. So yeah, that's where Chip Machine is at. Like definitely another passion project that I really enjoy.
It's always interesting to see like how many times that you just like collaborate with people, and I love all your collab stuff, honestly.
100%.
Like it's always fun to see you working with other people because you are such a people person.
Thank you.
And like just seeing all so many ideas that you've come up with, and like how many like projects that you've done. I actually like quite a few of the Lunatic Rappers tracks. I remember actually, you know what? I do remember I don't remember which one it was, but I used one of your 8-bit tracks. I think it was from the Blow Me one.
Oh,
I'm not sure if that's what it was called.
That was just the thumbnail to get some views. No, it was Blowing the Cartridge.
Okay. I used one of those for a video for a class project.
Oh, really?
When I
right on.
Yeah. I don't know if I have the video anymore, but I think it's actually I do. It's hidden away on my dad's computer. I'll have to send it to you sometime. It's just a video of me going around my town and showing people what my hometown looks like.
Right.
And this was when I went to a whole other end of the state to get my education, and so like they didn't know anything about the town that I came from, and I was the only person who traveled about 60 miles in order to get to school.
Oh man.
So it was like 60 miles every day. So it was like, I think it was like 120 miles almost every day or something like that. But so like back and forth. Anyway, so like showing that to them, I showed them. I remember that I used one of your Chip Machine songs for when I showed them the only arcade in my town.
Oh,
or, like
yo,
at the time, it was like the only.
Yes.
Yeah. They have like Neon Pac-Man, old Star Wars cabinet games, just like those huge like arcade cabinets. It's like, or like that was, or like they don't. We only have one now. Like there used to be another one in one of our malls, but the mall is so expensive to put like a store in. It's such a barren place now. The only reason to go to our mall is the movie theater at this point. So like showing them the arcade, and I thought immediately I got to use one of Jaian's tunes, and I feel bad that I didn't ask before.
Dude,
I
what's mine is yours. Like, no, honestly, like,
and like I didn't post it online or anything, and I would, even if I would have just asked you, hey, can I?
No, of course. I just like when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like obviously we're friends, so there's like. Oh, what's mine is yours, honestly. Like, and if you didn't know, now you know. But I really have a loose rule with that. It's like if people want to use my stuff for the videos or just to remix, like I've had people remix Chip Machine songs, which have been really cool. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
I've had
V-Ball. Send me some of those sometime. I want to hear that.
V-Ball has definitely like done like 2 or 3 remixes at this point. He's done a bunch.
Right.
And I've had someone. There was one song I called "Laser Malfunction," and someone remixed that because they really enjoyed it. But where was I going with that? Yeah, no. My rule is if you use my stuff and remix it or just whatever, just credit me. Just put credits. Yeah. So give me a shout out. Put me in the credits. And
I do recall I did say that music was made by a friend of mine.
That's good enough.
If I recall, I hope that I said that.
Fine,
if I didn't, I'll never see those people again. They probably don't remember me. Either way, I do remember that I'm pretty sure I remember saying my friend made that track, and I absolutely had to use it.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's all good. Like, Shit Machine is just such a fun project, and I cannot wait to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The next EP. I want to put something out in 2020 with Shit Machine as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for that. You know what would be awesome? Is if we did a Akira themed one,
like an 8-bit
for Chip
an
Machine.
8-bit Akira, like the 8-bit Akira theme, or just like an Akira inspired 8-bit song.
Something like that. Either one, honestly. Just honestly, just because it's 2019 and so much Akira stuff is coming up this year, because like this was supposed to be the year that Japan looks like Neo Japan, but
right. But like,
yeah.
what I was gonna say is, like, if the thing is, if all I need to like cover a song really is the sheet music. If I can look at the sheet music with like all the studies I've done, I can rewrite it and I can bring it into my software, and then I can modulate the sound, and then I can create my covers. And it's become this thing where like, I've done it so many times that it's like it's almost automatic. It's like boom, next one, 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 and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh man, like just talking to you, I realized I've done a lot of different cool projects, like Chip Machine, Lunatic Rappers, the podcast.
Oh yeah, man. Like it's weird how quickly you lose track of how many stuff that you've done, and like around our age, I feel like people feel like they haven't done a whole lot. Like especially artists when they're in their early 20s don't feel like they've done a whole lot, but quite frankly, the stuff that people don't see are just as important as the stuff that we actually put out.
That's why, like, I organize my channel. When you go on my channel, you can see, like, latest videos.
Oh, yeah, your channel is so much more organized than mine. I have stuff from, like, 2014 or, like, 2010,
Yeah,
actually.
but it's important to, like, just put everything in... like, everything has to be in playlists nowadays. Like, and even when I put out a video...
Yeah, the playlists definitely help. I've been doing playlists a whole lot more lately,
Yeah,
personally.
It's really, really helpful. Even on my SoundCloud or Bandcamp, like, wherever I'm at, like, playlist on playlist. It's super important, and you know I have like a section like all my cover music, and then you have the different playlists from all the different animes, different versions of the covers, and then you have all my original music from the latest to oh my god, I just ruined another project I did. Oh man.
Oh god. It's kind of awesome to like just sit and talk about the stuff that we've done, like having been friends for so many years already.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, it was a rap rock project. Oh man.
Man, tell me all about it later, I guess. I mean, like, I'm totally down to hear about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've gone for almost 2 hours. I think it's about time we wrap this up. And I do have one last thing I want to ask about before we close out the podcast for today.
What is that one thing you would like to ask?
Can I bring up a small detail about the Get Back Hot Shot series?
Oh man, you want to...
Or is that behind the scenes and I can't talk about it?
That's very much behind the scenes, but it's so deep in the podcast that I'm very tempted to talk about. That's another project that.
So like, okay, or like if it's not, if you don't want me to talk about it, let's just go.
Let's go for it.
Okay, all right. So in the script, I'm not going to go into the whole script, but I do want to ask like. Are you supposed to be... So, like, there's the mention of the portal gun. Is it supposed to be the Rick and Morty portal gun?
It could be any portal gun. It's very Rick and Morty inspired.
Okay. Because when you said portal gun, my first thought is the one from the game Portal 2.
I mean, you could use that one, too. Like...
That's the first one that I thought of, but then yesterday night, after I finished the animatic, I thought to myself, wait, he's a big fan of Rick and Morty. Maybe that's not the one I should have made.
I mean, the visuals are really up to you on that end.
I know it totally is. It's just like, or like in my head, it's just like I don't know if you've played that because the greatest game to you is like Mario Brothers 3.
No, nothing like that. Like I love how we're talking such a specific.
I don't mean that as an insult. I mean like that. Or like I know you just prefer older games. Totally fine with that.
No,
it's
all good.
It's like I get your preference in games. I was just thinking about like. I don't know if you've even played Portal before.
I played it before, so. Yeah. It's been a long time. But
okay.
Like, I do want to say, like, I really love the fact that we're talking about such a specific thing that people are like, what? What do you mean? What's a Get Back Hot Shot? And what do you mean a portal gun? So this is great. Like, no more detail than this.
It's small project. Can't talk too much about it. That's everything I can say.
Honestly.
Okay, it is a big project. It's going to take me a while to finish it, but I spent a lot of my time last night working on it, and I set a goal for myself last night to like work on a certain segment of it and then stop, and I'm going to get back into more of it today.
So I really cannot wait to see what
I can't wait to show you some of the progress on it, because like just it's so like the animatic stage, it's so rough and so like there's not a lot of personality. There's like, you have to bring a lot of personality into it, and you have to like show as much as you can with as few images as possible.
Right. You know what, Kyo? I have a surprise for you. So I'm studying film music, and next semester, starting in January, we have to compose music for a short film, a short animatic. Ooh. We could totally make it so that specific thing.
That would be awesome.
I can compose music for it. And everyone's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go over to like the animation department and find a student to work with. And like, nah, I already got my student. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already got it.
Yeah.
That would be epic.
I'm so down. I am so down for that.
Because the thing is, I've done that.
It's already like at a point where like I've gotten so much work done on it that it may as well be the project that you focus on.
It will be. That's great. It is. It will be. Because like I've really enjoyed like in my last year of electroacoustic studies, we had an opportunity to collaborate with filmmakers.
Oh yeah, I did see the Maker short film that you did. Really good job, dude. I love that. That happened like outside of that. The thing is, little parentheses I want to put in here, because I think this is important for anyone who's like if you're watching this and you enjoy music and you wanted to hear my thoughts and hear, this is something I really want to put in for when it comes to the film music. I had the opportunity. I was selected as basically the music animation collaboration that happened at my school. It was film animation students and music students, and basically people showed their film, people selected then sent in demos to like what they thought for what the film could be, what the music for the film could be like. The animator would be like, oh, I'm looking for like more like electronic music, so people like make an electronic demo for a specific section. And long story short, I got selected as a composer, was beyond the moon, started making all the music for it, started working on it, sent in everything I had. Didn't hear anything about from the person for like a whole month and a half. So I texted them like, "Oh, how's the final project?" And then they go, "Well, unfortunately, my teacher told me the film would be better with no melody whatsoever." So all the music I composed like a bunch of tracks for it, all got cut out. And this was right after I had been selected to compose music and sound design a short film for a friend. And then at the very end, they just replaced me with someone else, and so it happened to me like within the span of 2 weeks, like I basically got cut out of 2 different projects, and it's completely fine. Obviously, it kind of bites.
Yeah, it does bite, but the thing is, it's a good lesson to learn right now in the sense that you know that. You have to swallow whatever you take in that situation, because it's their decision and you're only there to like help them complete what they are working on. Okay, you're there, you have a job to do, you finish your job, and that's it. And like bringing personal emotions into it is never the right idea. And I'm happy because in the sense that like obviously when that happened, like that gut punch, that first feeling ever of like, oh man, that sucks. It happened now, right? And I'm happy it happened.
Yeah, the thing to remember is it's never personal. It's entirely based on the work. It's not. They're not trying to take a dig at you personally. It's just that the project is their overall goal, and like maybe what you put out. It's not that it was bad. It was just that it's not what they were looking for.
Exactly, and people. That's what like I had to like.
It's a hard lesson to learn. It really is, especially if you want to do entertainment for like your job.
1,000%. That's what it's what like they both told me. They're like, listen, your music is great, your sound design is great, but it's not exactly what we're looking for. So we just went with someone else. And for the one, and then the other person was like, well, no, your music was great, but it just my teacher is telling me that it's better without music. So okay, well that it is what it is, and that remotivated me, and I started hitting up different colleges, and I was like, if any of your students are in the final semester and they need a musician and sound designer, I would like to offer my services for free, because I'm studying film music in the fall, and my goal was I wanted to make music and sound design at least one short film before starting my my degree. And so that's how I got in contact with the guy who made the Maker, and we started like going back and forth, and I composed music and I sound designed it, and he was like, it was such a good experience to like get under my belt, and I'm really happy. It's my best professional work so far, I think, is the Maker for sure.
Yeah, that whole thing, or that whole little short film is a kind of inspiring to me, to like think like this is what Jaian is capable of when he puts out work for other people and not just for his friends. Like, it shows me that the level of quality that you put out is the same across
Thank
the
you.
board. Like, no matter who you're working for.
I mean, it's so nice to have that experience and that foot in the door now, because I can take that piece of media and apply to different jobs, and like I'm in talks with like different filmmakers, and I'm like, hey, listen, this is what I've done, and every time I show them the Maker, wow, this is really good, every time. So I'm really, really happy that I got to where I'm at with that. It's been such a gorgeous project to work on, and I'm really excited to do more and like get back Hot Shot. We'll just call it that, even though it's not the actual name. It's definitely a project that I started like working on scripting like a long time ago, almost a year ago, and now it's like it's still in early stages. But this is gonna be a long-term thing. Another thing I want to do too is like music for a video game. I want to create a little video game, like even if it's like a 1-2 level kind of thing. I want to create a video game and make the music and sound design for it. That's another thing I want to do. So many projects. I have a backlog of projects I want to like do at some point, like audiobooks.
Man, I'm the same way. I have like a little like bucket list of stuff that I want to do with my career. Like, I have like genres I want to jump into. I have like not even specific projects I want to do, just like something that I want to do. I have something as vague as like voice a character, or like voice someone's interpretation of the devil or death, and like that's a small little like acting goal that I have for myself, like as vague as it is.
That's really cool. Like, I actually had a question for you, and I know like we were supposed to wrap things up, but like I'm having too much of a good time.
No, it's fine. We'll just like we'll go ahead.
So, as someone who's basically, because I know like with your studies, it ended when it ended, but now you're kind of in that phase where you're not going to school, but you're looking for employment and you're doing contracts. And you know, on my end of things, whenever someone asks me who does your artwork, I always refer them to you, and I'm always trying to get you contracts, and I'm always like trying to like.
Yeah, I did, or I forgot, or I don't remember if I've told you. I'm pretty sure I have. But like when I was listening to your podcasts, yeah, I'll let you continue in a second.
Yeah,
I'm just
for sure.
saying, like, I had no idea how much you guys were promoting me at the end of your podcasts, and like I thought it was just like that little clip at the beginning that said artwork by GoPro Kyo, and next thing I know it's beginning and end of every episode, and I'm like, it warmed my heart a little bit.
I mean,
it's
the least we can do.
Or like
bro.
it made me feel glad to know that you guys like actually, or like I know, or I'm not saying that I felt like nobody appreciated it. I just never felt that much appreciation for something that I don't have to work so hard on, like something where when I started doing those pre-rendered drawings of you like for some of the podcaster thumbnails.
Yeah.
Or like I had no idea how much you guys appreciated it, and it really made me feel good about how much work I've put into some of those.
Dude, like of course.
But anyway, like what were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off.
What I wanted to say is, what's it like in that transition when school ends and finding your first career job, especially in the arts? What's that been like for you? How are you coping? What are you doing? Like how are you at that? Because that's where you are, right?
Yeah. I think the most important thing is to stay busy and keep working at what you're doing. Like, I have applied for a couple of, like, art direction jobs here and there. Like, they're all, like, work from home sort of stuff, like, use your own equipment. Because, like, the state that I live in is not especially entertainment heavy. It's a very, like, I don't know a good word for it. It's not, it's very, like, kind of a quiet place. There's not a lot of, like, big businesses close to where I live. If I want to, like, go to an industry job that I really want, I have to go down to Seattle, California, Texas, or I think even Vancouver has like game studio. Yeah, they have like game studios and like big production places in Vancouver. But and like I'm on the perfect side of the continent for that. But I'm also in between California and Vancouver.
Right.
So like I have to go up or down one way or the other. And I'm in a place where it doesn't allow me to or like I'm able to contact those people through the internet. But the thing is, like, I'm in a place where I can only save up money and try to prepare myself to go out and do the job that I want. It's a little scary to be in between, like, working at at places that you don't care for. Like, I'm working at a store unloading and loading trucks right now. And it's not something I care about. It's not a passion. But working on artwork is what keeps me wanting to push through the job that I don't like.
Right.
So, I guess I would say it's a little scary, but as long as you are pushing yourself through those hurdles of like feeling like, am I not getting a job because I'm not good? No, it's not because you're not good. It's because you just have to work at it. It's being in entertainment is all about constantly trying to improve yourself.
It 100% is, and you always learn, whether it be like from a beginner or from a professional.
Yeah, every day it's learning. Like, I believe even the master, or like quote unquote masters, are still learning today. Like, people that Jaian and I admire are probably still trying to improve themselves.
1,000%.
But like, in our eyes, our first thought is like, oh, they're so good at what they do. But in their eyes, they're just this. They feel like they're on the same level as we are, because their idea is that I'm good, but I can do better. That's a constant thought that I think every artist
needs to have,
has in the back of their head.
Yeah, or needs to have if you don't, because.
Yeah, if you don't, I think it makes you a little lazy, because I do remember I've fallen into art blocks when I feel like I've learned everything I need to learn. That is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
You never learn enough. You can never learn enough, in my opinion.
I 1,000% agree, and I really I think it's important because I feel like with my studies, like I did a college degree, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I have my audio engineering college degree.
Yeah.
And I started doing freelance contracts, and I kept doing YouTube. I'm like, okay, I'm still at my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is gonna be my life. I'm good. And then I'm like, no, Jaian, you
Yeah.
need to go to university. And I took a year off, did my internship, great time. And then when I went and finally got into electroacoustic studies, I told myself, this is, okay, after this degree, I'll have everything I need, and I'll be able to start. But the thing I realized with myself is that I love studying music and audio. I just really do. And so once I was done my bachelor's degree, I was like, I want to do more. I want to do more. And that's why I'm doing a graduate diploma in film music.
Yeah.
And it's like this thing where all of my different diplomas are so, like, they're within the same, like, in audio and music, but they're very different. Like, audio production, electroacoustic studies, and film music. Like, I don't know anyone else that has, like, that set up in their studies. And I feel like I've been doing this thing where I kept going to school because I know that eventually I'm gonna have to find a job, and so I don't want to be that guy who's like keeps pushing back like finding a job, because I've had opportunities as like for career jobs in my field, but I really feel like with graduate education, like it'll put me like even higher up there to like really find employment and boost up the resume. And it's good because I'm still like, a portfolio is something that sure, you have a portfolio, but you can always update and improve your portfolio. And having a portfolio, especially when you're an artist, musician, whatever, is crucial. So
the sooner you start a portfolio, the better.
100%.
Yeah. Like, even if you're not entirely comfortable with the level that you're at, and personally sometimes I don't feel like I'm comfortable with the level that I'm at, I still have the need to put together like portfolio pieces, like stuff that I feel I could present to a studio that I really want to work for, and like, even if it's not the best thing that I've put out, I still feel like it's something that I need to put out there as like, this is what I'm capable of so far. And if I feel like I don't, and if it's like a year later and I feel like it's not good enough, I can take it out and replace it with something of that year, because every year I think people improve if they're working at it.
Oh, 1,000%. And that's like the thing
Yeah.
with my channel. I'm always working at it, and I'm always putting out new stuff, and I just feel like my covers keep getting better. Like the most recent one I put out.
Oh yeah, they do. They really do.
The most recent one I put out with My Hero Academia UC Run. I worked so hard on that one, and I really like spent hours and hours just trying to figure out like how I was gonna orchestrate everything, what instruments, mix everything. And once I put it out, I was so proud of myself, especially with the new visuals I'm working on, and now I'm gonna be able to improve and push further and further, and I'm gonna like expand my channel with live streaming now. I'm gonna get more into that. I did a test stream the other day, which was really fun, and it's really cool. So I'm just always finding new ways to innovate in everything. So yeah, agreed.
Yeah. You know, I think that we've reached a pretty good point to like stop the podcast.
Oh my god, we're 2 hours in. This is the longest podcast I've ever done.
Yeah, like, and you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. Like, that's not that's not something we've done a lot before. Like, longest one I think we've done is like maybe
20 minutes.
Maybe an hour and 2 minutes.
Like 20 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes max.
Oh, 20 minutes? Really?
Probably.
Well, I just meant like the fully edited ones. I didn't know, or have we done one that's an hour and 20 minutes?
I think so.
Oh, I was just thinking of like, or like my thought was the edited ones, but I thought you were thinking of like the unedited ones, because some of those go on longer than they need to.
All right, do we plug or do we just go?
Let's just plug ourselves real quick, and then we'll call it a podcast.
All right. Follow me on everything. I'm at JaianMusic, audio musician.
All of his links are gonna be in the description if you're curious. I'm gonna link to his channel right at the end of this video. Check him out as soon as you can.
Thank you.
Especially look at his work on the Maker. Really good video.
JaianMusic.com if you want to find it. It's in my portfolio section.
Yeah, that too. I'm gonna put that in there too.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Okay, that's me.
All right. I'm GoPro Kyo. This has been the Chillcast. You guys can find me on here on YouTube doing speed paints, voice acting videos, stuff like that. And you can also find the rest of my links in the channel description below. If you want to check out my channel, definitely check the link at the end of the video. And if you guys have any requests from people that you want me to do another podcast with, I'll definitely look into it. And with that, I think we'll call this a good day, and I hope you guys have a good day yourselves.
Bye, guys.
Bye.